I am so honored to be sharing this book with you today from Cooperative Press. The book is called Hitch, and all of the patterns in this book are inspired by the movies of Alfred Hitchcock. Now, I can tell you that I am not an Alfred Hitchcock fan. In fact, I probably have never even seen an Alfred Hitchcock movie, but that does not stop me from loving several patterns in this book. This book is 176 pages and contains 29 patterns, including 9 shawls, 3 hats, 4 gloves or fingerless mitts, 9 sweaters, and 4 pairs of socks. There are 27 designers that contributed to this book, and the ebook version sells for $16.95 and can be purchased as a Ravelry download or directly from the Cooperative Press website. If you prefer to have the print version, you will also get an ebook version for $29.99. The book starts with the table of contents that shows you all of the patterns that are available in the book. And I'm not going to share with you all of the patterns in the book today. I'm just going to focus on a few of my favorites. But you can go to Ravelry or to the Cooperative Press website to view all of the different patterns in this book. There are some amazing hat, glove, and sock patterns in this book. However, since I don't typically knit those types of projects, I'm going to focus on the patterns that I am going to most likely knit from this book. But I did want to show you just a few of the patterns for the hats, socks, and mittens so that you can kind of get an idea of what's available in the book. The first sweater I'm going to show you here is the 3-second kiss sweater. And although I have kind of sworn off knitting pullover sweaters, there are a number of pullover sweaters that I really love in this book, as you will soon see. But this particular sweater is a Fair Isle sweater, and it actually is knit in the round, and I think it could be steeked to make a cardigan sweater, and that is probably what I will do when I knit this sweater. The next sweater is the Greenwich Village cardigan, and this is a sport-weight cardigan with a delicate lace pattern on the front of the sweater as well as on the sleeves. Now, one feature that I really like about this book is under the sizing, the designer has listed the intended ease for the garment. And in this particular sweater, it shows that it's intended to have a 1 inch of positive ease, which is kind of cool, so then you kind of know how you're supposed to be knitting the sweater. And this sweater is a crop sweater. However, I think it would be pretty easy to extend the sweater and make it a full-length sweater if that's what you choose to do. This sweater is the Not Your Gal Friday sweater, and yes, another pullover sweater, but I just can't help but love this sweater. The simple keyhole front is just, I think really just sets off the pattern, and the striping just gives it a little bit of flair. This would be a good sweater for just about any casual occasion, I think. This next pattern is the Ambrose Chapel Capelet, and this capelet is worked in a worsted weight yarn and I think would definitely be warm. I just love the texture of this capelet. The upper portion is just a nice texture, and then the lower part has this really nice cable. And this particular capelet is almost a full circle with just a kind of a wedge cut out to go around the neck. I really, really like this shawl or capelet. This next sweater is the Gal Midge Sweater, and yes, another pullover, I know, but honestly, this would be my perfect Sunday afternoon attire. This just comfortable sweater, it is intended to be worn with 3 inches of positive ease, so just a great sweater for lounging around the house or running errands on a Sunday afternoon. What I like about this sweater is that you can really jazz up this sweater with some really cool buttons, and also there is a nice detail of ribbon or fabric that you put on the button band that I think you can really just make this sweater pop. The next pattern is the Melanie shawl, and this is a triangular shawl that's worked from the top down, and beads are added just to give it that extra sparkle factor. Now this pattern is charted in the book. There are no written instructions that I could see, but I just looked through the pattern briefly and it looks like a pretty simple pattern. So if you are used to working from written instructions for your lace knitting, don't feel intimidated by this particular pattern. I think that just about anybody, even if you're new to charts, could follow this pattern. And the last pattern I'm going to show you is the Annie pullover, and again another pullover, but this pattern has a very unique construction, at least a construction that I have never seen in a pattern before. And I would want to knit this pattern simply for the sheer fact of the construction, to see how it turns out and how it works. But it is a very elegant sweater that can easily be dressed up or dressed down depending on the occasion that you want to wear it. One of the things that I really like about this book is the section at the beginning of the pattern that just gives you a brief overview of the pattern. They have a section called Required Skills that will tell you exactly what skills you need to know for the particular pattern. The pattern notes kind of gives you an overview of how the pattern is constructed, or the garment is constructed, so you don't have to read through the entire pattern to get to know that. And also there's a section on stitches and techniques that gives you a brief overview of any special techniques that you need to know for that particular pattern. Another thing that this book offers are some close-up detail shots of some of the patterns. In this particular picture, you see the red hem that's on this sweater. Now this sweater is black and white, but just the added flair of the red hem just adds that special touch to the sweater that just really makes it pop. The book also contains a picture tutorial for how to insert a zipper in a sweater. Now, having never done this myself, it is nice to have this information readily available right in the book. At the end of the book, they have an abbreviation and techniques section that lists all the stitches that are used in the book and any special techniques that are available in the book as well. There's also a section about the designers. Like I mentioned before, there are 27 designers that contributed to this book, and this section just gives you a brief bio of the designer and gives you a way to get in touch with that designer if you need to do so. And last but not least, there is a full listing of all the yarns that are used in the book and links to the websites that you can purchase them. I find this great because a lot of times I like to knit a garment with the yarn that was recommended by the designer. And that is Hitch by Cooperative Press. Again, the ebook version is $16.95 and the print and ebook version is $29.95.